Okie dokie, Advent of Code 2025, day 2 in Rust. Let's see. This feels like one of those problems that's probably got a very elegant non-brute force solution, but we have a bunch of ranges of numbers and we need to check how many of the numbers in those ranges matches a certain rule, which is namely, it has a repeated pattern, I think exactly twice. I'm going to say it's repeated exactly twice. And if it is, it's invalid, and we need to count it. I have made a regex for this, which you can see captures 11, 22, 64, 64, 123, 123, but not 101, because they need to be back to back. Now the interesting question is whether or not it will catch 64, 64 like that, and it won't. This is probably fine. Does it catch that twice? I don't know. I think perhaps this should be okay. Unfortunately, this uses back references. So what it's saying is, find a group of digits where there is at least one digit and any more. Call that group number 1, and then find exactly one match to that group. The default Rust regex library explicitly does not lacks several features, including back references. So instead, I'm using fancy regex, which is built on top of the regex library and includes back references. Whew, cool. So I have cargo added my fancy regex. That will automatically go and add the dependency to cargo.toml with whatever the latest version is. If there are any features, I could add them here, or if I wanted to lock it a version, I could change the version, I could add it there. So I think the first thing to do is build a range, and that's going to go start. We're going to go with let's just pass it the entire string, why not? S is going to be ref stir, and it's going to return a vec of u size. I assume none of these can be negative, in which case let's take all of the I sizes and turn them into u sizes, give ourselves a bit more headroom. Cool. And so we are going to do let's parts is going to be s split, and we're splitting on hyphens. Let start is parts next unwrap, parts is a number, end is the same. Ooh, the range is inclusive. The ID range is the range, each range and last ID. Yeah, so these ranges are inclusive, and so in fact that what it just came up with is correct. So I want to do a range start up to and equals end, and collect, and then we'll return that. Parts needs to be mutable. Cool. Then we need to, let's match a number, and it's going to be, for now, I'm just going to say, oh, actually, the regex is probably going to want a string. Oh, that's fine. So let's create the regex here, which normally I would say is really stupid. And maybe I want to build the regex. I'm going to build the regex in part 1 actually. Let re be equal to fancy. I'm not using fancy regex here. New with some value. And the value I want is going to be this. And do I need to do any special? We'll give it a raw string, and then that'll be fine. Cool. And that raw string is going to, again, yeah, that's fine. Which means that build range is fine. Match number is going to need to take a reference to a regex. Cool. And we're going to return. Maybe this function didn't need to. This function needs to let s be equal to string and return that. What don't you like? Expect failed to run regex, right? I'm assuming is match is match returns a result ball, and yeah, I'm assuming it's only going to error on some very weird edge case. Cool. And so now we need to match a range. It's going to take a range, so let's usize that. It's going to return a usize of the count. And we're just going to do range, iter, map, fold. We're going to fold it actually. So our fold is going to take a 0 value and a closure with whatever our accumulator is. And RE is already referenced, that's fine. Then we're going to do ACC plus 1. Otherwise, so we always need to return whatever our accumulated value is from our closure. So in this case, we are going to add 1 if it matches, and if not, return what it was before, starting at 0. And that kind of should be it. So we'll take our input string, let nums be equal to build range. Okay, we need to, okay, let mu count 0. And we may as well do the thing here. So what we're going to do, in fact, I don't even need to do that. We're going to return input iter, fold again, and we're going to get a 0, an ACC, and an S. I'm just going to put it down here now. Let range equal to build range on S. And ACC plus match range like that. Let's see how we do. Now this is obviously going to be ridiculously slow. It's a good thing we failed the test then. Oh, we got a panic on parse int error. Interesting. Right, where are we doing parses? We're doing parses on build range, I think. Where are you? Line 31. Yeah, there. Let's see what happened. No doubt I've just done something really stupid. I should have done this on separate lines. Shouldn't I? Yes, I... Yep, I did do something really stupid, which is I copied and pasted. I would like day 2 there, please. And I would like day 2 there. This is why people have funky... oh god. If the test is this slow, this really doesn't bode well. Right, if the test is this slow, this definitely suggests there's, in fact, a much more efficient way of doing this that does not involve doing weird regexes. So whilst that's running, let's go look at our examples. 1122 has 2 in it. 95 to 115. I mean, oh, interesting. Does this capture 115? It does. So we need to ensure then that there is nothing else after. And because this would also capture 511, nothing else before. Why don't you like 22? Why don't you like 22? I suspect there's a white space issue here. Yeah, okay. So I would like there to specifically be nothing before and nothing after. Is that allowed? No. Do I need to surround you in? Do I need to surround you in /b's? Yes, that'll do it. Okay, cool. So the entire word must match this pattern. So whilst it's failing, let's go add our /b's in. And did it fail because it got a wrong number? It did, but the number it got was far too low. Which means that the /b's aren't going to do the job. So let's go back and have a look. Ah, I'm not counting how many invalid IDs there are. I'm adding them up. Right. Okay. That's fine. Because match num just needs to be bool. And if match, I need to do add num. So that's still fine. In which case we got a lot of matches that we shouldn't have got. Am I doing this on the test? No, I'm doing this on the real. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, well, actually, okay, so it's not that slow then. I mean, it is slow. It's not that slow. I'm kind of tempted to just use this answer and see what happens. Accidentally succeeded! Love it. Presumably that means the test is going to pass. Nice. There is apparently some method to incompetence. Oh god, if I apply for a job and they come looking, I mean, one, they'll see me topless, which is fine. This video isn't for them, it's for you. But two, this is probably a terrible interview. Yeah, so we looked at your videos and we saw that you were getting the output of your real runs by just fucking up your tests. Really? Okay. Anyway, there are still invalid IDs in the ranges. Other silly patterns. Okay, so it's what, the same, and I need another regex? If it is made only of some sequence of digits repeated at least twice, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is fine. This is a super easy problem. Great. So basically, the power of regex compels you. That number, please. What are you? Oh, yeah. More copy and paste errors. I mean, it's not a question of why do you want to work here. It's a question of why would you even hire me? And my regex now, instead of looking for one capture group, I'm going to look for at least one with nothing in between. We can go very quickly double check this. So, I mean, if I don't do it, then 123, 123, 123 doesn't match. What are the other ones? 124, 124, that's fine. 12, 5 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, hello. Those slash Bs. Maybe a word boundary is not what I think it is. Because presumably it's matching twice. No, that's one match. This could be a problem. I mean, actually, this is not a problem. My regex was wrong for part 1, but is fine for part 2. The other one was 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 8 apparently matches. So, yeah, there is an issue here, but that will fix it for part 2. It's fine. Run the tests. Apparently that won't fix it for part 2, because Yep. I am a competent software engineer. And now we wait. I probably could have stopped it running part 1 even, and I would have marginally sped this up. It is nice when you get a solution properly with regexes. I wonder, whilst that's running, is there a more intelligent way of doing this? If there is, I suspect it's beyond me. But there must be, because advent of code typically should be fast. And it's going to be something like, if you start with 2 digits and you go to 2 digits. No. Well, actually, no. I guess you could probably generate all possible invalid IDs. And then check if they exist in your ranges. That might be... would it be faster? I don't know. Part 1. I wasn't paying attention to the answer to part 1, but it looked like it changed. Cool, well, that's day 2 done, and in a record time of under 20 minutes. Nice. Should I do any explaining? I mean, there's not much going on here. Fold is probably the most complicated thing, and these type hints are kind of possibly getting in the way. But basically, it will run this iterator, and it's going to... this is effectively a reduce, or like a map reduce, I think. So we have an initial value. It's a good way of doing a sum, basically. If you wanted to do a sum, you have R is a back of use size or something. And you wanted to return a use size. You would do R iter, and then, okay, so sum exists, but you do fold. You give it a starting value of 0, an accumulator, and each individual value, and you just do a C plus X. Same as if you wanted to do a product, and then because we're not adding a semicolon, it's returning the final value. And because we're returning the final value, that will then do the iterator. If I did this, and then return some other value, it will complain and go, hang on a second. Or it should... no, it won't. If I did that, then It should give me a warning about this. It should warn me and tell me that iterators are lazy and they won't run. Oh, maybe fold forces it to run. So if I did something like map, did that, there we go. Iterators are lazy and do nothing unless consumed. Cool. So the fold is just making sure it actually becomes not an iterator. Anything that will return an iterator will not work. Right. Same way you could do multiply, rolled. That u size, and it'll be r iter fold, and we start with 1 this time because obviously we're going to multiply, and if you multiply by 0 you just get a load of zeros for fx and acc times x. And these are just easy ways of getting a single value out of an iterator. And obviously because it's the closure, you can do this on as many lines as you like. Cool. I think that's the only thing really. I'm reasonably confident you're happy with the idea of iterators. There are 3 ways of creating an iterator in Rust, which are iter, which is going to give value size is going to return nothing. If I did that, a is an iter, which will, it's going to be better if we do a map actually. So what we get out of an iterator is a reference to the value. If this were into iter, it will consume the original and it will give us the actual value. Are those the 3 ways? Or are those the 2 ways? Nonetheless, those are the 2 basic ones, right? Consume or borrow. And under the hood, iterators and for loops basically compile down to the same thing. So there's not really a cost to anything else, but iterators obviously, if you are doing funky vec stuff, you don't need to do any bounds checking, they'll just do it for you. Same with for value in range. Right, now I can go play some blueprints and give you some more videos.